Fighter with the call sign Loza, Berlatsk village. A Russian fighter single-handedly destroys Ukrainian forces' bunkers and basements. He throws light explosives into the bunkers and offers to surrender. If they refuse to surrender, he throws more and more explosives into the bunker. Write your thoughts on this tactic in the comments. FPV operators of the 108th DSHP destroy bunkers and basements of fighters of the armed forces of Ukraine in part of the Zaporizhzhia front. Russian fiber-optic drones destroyed targets in this direction with pinpoint accuracy. Even if the soldiers in the basement changed position, reconnaissance drones were watching them. Their new positions were also hit.
Don't forget to leave your opinion about the video in the comments, subscribe, and like.
Footage from the combat work of the UAV operators of the South Group. Russian FPV drones detected a bunker of the Ukrainian forces and destroyed it with several drone strikes. Footage of a Russian warplane hitting a Ukrainian position with FAB bombs. Which plane do you think it was, and what size FAB bomb? The work on the accumulation of equipment and residences of the armed forces of Ukraine's soldiers in the nearest rear zone continues. The Russian Air Force is destroying the positions with pinpoint accuracy. Destruction of equipment cabinets of communication and control, relay towers of UAVs of the armed forces of Ukraine near the settlements of Kolmy and Mamykino, Chernihiv region, using Garan. FPV UAVs VT-40 destroyed another part of NATO equipment in the Dnipropetrovsk region. It also destroyed 2 NRTKs and bunkers and warehouses. Watching the videos, one would think that using a drone is very easy. Actually, it's not. Using a drone is difficult in many ways. Drones are difficult to operate due to many factors, such as difficult weather conditions, obstacles such as trees and power poles, and the stress of being on the battlefield. The videos we publish are usually the ones that always hit the target, but they are not always so accurate. Sometimes it can be a failure. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. Donbass. A Zala unit from Rubicon detected a Ukrainian FPV UAV and an ammunition drop point near the village of Novodonetskoye in Donetsk. The coordinates of the target were transmitted to the Iskander anti-tank missile defense system of the Central Forces Group. The target was destroyed. In the meantime, you can use YouTube Super Thank You to support us and our content. We need it to continue with our videos. During reconnaissance and search work with the Prince Vandal UAV, the 83rd GV ODSHBR UAV detachment, located in the network corridor, intercepted and destroyed a buggy of the Ukrainian forces, as well as 2 mortars and a signal amplifier for UAVs. The Russian Defense Ministry reported that artillery shelling of the southern troops destroyed a UAV control center and a Ukrainian mortar located in a bunker near the Serebryanka area in Donetsk. The positions were destroyed as a result of precise calculation of coordinates by reconnaissance UAV operators. What do you think the Russian-Ukrainian war would have been like without drones? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Kharkiv direction. FPV image of the antagonist group destroys the equipment of the armed forces of Ukraine. During the day in this direction, several pickup trucks of the armed forces of Ukraine were destroyed. Soldiers now have to walk. If possible, they are trying to verify the destruction of the destroyed vehicles with objective cameras, because sometimes there are comments like, "There is no footage of the destruction of the vehicle you say was destroyed." Because of such comments, objective imaging is tried to be done, but it may not always be possible. Zaporizhia direction. Novgorod Prince of Novgorod Vandal drones with Russian fiber optics hit the Ukrainian armed forces in the bushes. They also blew up PWDs where fighters were trying to hide. Also, one of the soldiers of the Ukrainian armed forces decided to take shelter in a house, but the house was soon destroyed. All images confirmed by objective drone footage. Drones with fiber optics hit targets after reconnaissance drones revealed the locations of Ukrainian soldiers. Leave your thoughts in the comments. The calculations of the Molnia 2 UAVs of the northern troops destroyed positions, fortresses, military equipment, and manpower of the Ukr-Russiaa armed forces in the SSE area on the Kharkiv direction. Russian troops continue to clear the road to Konstantinovka. This image shows the northern entrance to the town, the village of Novodmitrivka. A 120mm mortar was found during aerial reconnaissance. The 27th Artillery Regiment's UAV pilots destroyed the mortar. It all starts with a group of UAV operators getting as close to the front line as possible and starting to monitor the airspace. Here are new shots of the combat work of the Vostok Group soldiers, who also took part in the liberation of the village of Yanvarske in the Dnepropetrovsk region. Day and night, UAV pilots blocked attacks by heavy Baba Yaga Ukrainian UAVs trying to stop the advance of Russian forces. The small FPVs sacrificed themselves and remained active in the sky, preventing a major disaster for Russian soldiers on the ground. Sumy direction. Patrolling in the Nikolskoye residential area, the Rubicon team detected an HMMMWV trying to escape. Despite attempts by Ukrainian soldiers to shoot down the UAV with firearms, the vehicle was successfully shot down. Russian reconnaissance operators discovered the movement of infantry of the armed forces of Ukraine. Soldiers came out of the woods and hid in the ruined house. After precisely calculating the coordinates, attack drones moved in and destroyed the house. A Ukrainian kamikaze drone attempted to land on a position of Russian infantry in the Donetsk region. At the last moment, the drone was destroyed in mid-air. Fighters of the Russian armed forces shot down a Ukrainian UAV that was lying in ambush during takeoff in the direction of Sumy.
Все. Прохуярили. Все? Да.
Direct hits of FABs from UMPK neutralized the Ukrainian armed forces hiding in buildings. Russian aviation appears to have hit the targets with pinpoint accuracy. UAV operators of the 144th Motorized Rifle Division continued their mission in the direction of Krasnolymansk, destroying a temporary deployment point with 2 Ukrainian soldiers. The Russian Defense Ministry reported that UAV operators of the 7th Guards Airborne Division destroyed infantry near the settlement of Plavny in the Zaporizhzhia region, disrupting the rotation of the Airborne Forces Command. ATV crew flee in panic after spotting Russian drones. The ATVs they left behind were destroyed. Russian drone operators spotted a group of Ukrainian infantry looking for a new position. They tracked them for a while and precisely calculated their coordinates. Then, Prince Vandal of Novgorod activated his fiber optic drone and destroyed the first position they took. After the first attack, the soldiers hid in another basement. However, it was also destroyed, and they hid in another building. the Russians launched a drone attack on that building as well. Don't forget to join our Telegram group. In the Serebryanka region, Russian forces are firing explosives at bunkers of Ukrainian soldiers. During the attacks, backpacks filled with TM-62 anti-tank weapons were used. With the help of a detonator or a timer, the anti-tank is detonated. The Russian Defense Ministry reported that attack aircraft had captured Ukrainian armed forces fortifications on the outskirts of Krasnoarmeysk. Footage of the liberation of a village in Donetsk. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, the liberation of the settlement is of great strategic importance for the development of the Russian army offensive.